What's up, everybody? Evan here for grips.com, continuing with Project Get Me Stackin. Today's question goes out to the beginners, first timers, and I'm sure there are a few of you that watch this channel. Also, this one will go out to anyone who is really aggressive with their bankroll and has some issues with playing a little too aggressively and busting the roll, and how to rebuild it. So, let's go straight to the question from my boy Andrew, who I know has been a long time fan, and thanks for watching, bro. Hi, Evan. I've not played a single game of poker yet. However, I have been watching WSOP, PAD, and HSP, as well as many poker instructional videos and reading articles and forums by top players. I have done some favors for some friends, and they owe me $90, which I am going to ask to be sent to my PokerStars account. I've watched so much poker and read many articles about small ball and 3-betting, etc., but I really don't know where to start. Imagine you had a fresh $90 in a poker account with no poker analytics software, etc. Can you outline some key steps to help me get the grind going? I don't mind grinding any stake. I am disciplined and have watched many videos on how to play against fish. I have learned the basic stats like VPIP, etc. I am not looking to ever redeposit, and I have no time limit in which I want to build a bankroll. Also, I will be sticking to full ring, no limit cash, smart safe choice, low variance. To me, poker is a passion, but I would never be willing to spend anything other than the money I've made through the internet, e.g. this $90 or a bit more. And that's fair. That's really reasonable to not want to overextend yourself and invest too much money in something before you know what your skill level is and think that you can definitely make a run at it. So the goal to never redeposit can definitely be a reality, but I do want to start with a disclaimer, is that it's a lot easier said than done. And I can say from personal experience that I busted my first two $100 deposits before being able to run my roll up. But there was a lot less information available in those days, and I made some really obvious rookie mistakes, and I'll talk about them real quick. The first one, I was playing fixed limit hold'em because I didn't know that there were other tabs for sit and goes and tournaments. Poker software was a lot worse back in the day. And I started at 25.50 cents, and I did well, so I jumped to 50 a dollar, and I did well, so I jumped to 1.2. And before I knew it, I was playing 3-6 fixed limit with only $140 in the roll. So you can imagine how things went when I had, that's like 10 big bets. Yeah, it didn't last. Second time, I put in another $100. I found no limit cash games, so I was like, okay, something I understand a little bit better. And I was playing 50 NL with 2 buy-ins in the roll. And yeah, I ran an ace high flush into a straight flush. We both needed 2 cards to make our hand, so it was pretty fucked up. But what was more fucked up than that was how terrible my bankroll management was. So I found some information, I did some reading, I learned about bankroll management, and then the third time I deposited $100, I started with $5 sit and goes, which was still a little aggressive, but whatever. And whenever I had 20 buy-ins, I would move to the next limit. Or if I was really crushing a limit, I would add another table to the point where I was playing 4 tables at a time. Maximum. Didn't want to push my boundaries. And before I knew it, I run up my roll to 1,000, cashed it out, kept another 100 in there, and went through the same process again and built it up to 10K and was regularly playing $100 and $200 sit and goes. But the thing was, that third time around, I could afford the swings because I'd built up my roll to be able to withstand them rather than putting myself in a position for real disaster and a big risk of ruin. But enough about me and my story. Let's get on to some tips so that you can have your own success story. So, if you never want to redeposit, there are a few simple techniques that you have to follow. Obviously, you want to be working on your game and studying and being a good player so that you can win. But beyond that, here's what you got to do. The first one is practice perfect bankroll management. No matter what happens, you can't let yourself get tilted and start playing bigger than usual or take shots when you really don't have the adequate bankroll for it. Because if those shots go poorly, it's a quick way to run out of money, and it's also going to make you much more prone to tilt, which is going to lead to more poor decisions. So really stick within the buy-in restrictions suggested in the bankroll management video. Feel free to be a little bit more aggressive, but only when you feel like you're playing on your A game or it's a really good spot, you see a really big fish in a game. Otherwise, you shouldn't regularly be taking shots and playing higher than your bankroll suggests you should. Next is to game select, game select, game select, because variance is going to be much lower when you are playing in soft games with fish, weak tights, donks, whatever, than if you are playing in a game full of regs and tough regulars, because regs are going to be, they're going to be 3-betting you, they're going to be floating you, they're going to be double floating you, they're going to be bluff raising you, they're doing all this kind of shit that for you to be able to play back against them and not get run over is going to require much higher variance plays on your part. So if you are playing on a limited bankroll, or at least when you're building it at first, you're playing on limited bankroll, you probably want to avoid high variance situations. And the best way to do that is to find good games that are not going to force you to deal with a lot of aggressive action, high variance plays to book a win. And I think full ring is a much more low variance place than shorthanded or heads up play. So Andrew, you're on the right track by deciding to start there. Next, obviously, take advantage of the promotions, especially when you're starting with a small bankroll. Free rolls and VIP tournaments are going to pay out really large amounts relative to your bankroll. In fact, I've heard of a lot of people who deposit $100, like doubling, tripling, or even quintupling their roll because they scored big in a free roll. And the cool thing about free rolls is, well, there's no risk to your bankroll. You have nice upside potential and no real downside. Likewise, the VIP tournaments are generally either bigger prize pools than the free rolls or smaller fields than the free rolls, but the same idea, you earn your way in based on points or accomplishments or whatever, and you get a shot at some free money. Again, no real downside, but a nice upside potential for your bankroll. So the easiest and safest way to build your bankroll for sure is to play these free rolls and VIP tournaments to supplement your regular grind. Like, by no means should you be playing exclusively free rolls if you have money in your account. You should obviously be playing your regular games as well, but there's no reason to not add these to your schedule. Satellites are also a really great way to build your bankroll because A, they're super soft, and B, they allow you to get in bigger tournaments really cheap where you have the potential to make your bankroll absolutely explode if you can go on a nice run. I was just playing the Sunday Million this weekend with a Grips member who qualified to the Sunday Million off a 100-seat guaranteed giveaway and managed to get like to the 7th cash for like $600. So the guy turned $10 into $600. Imagine how big a boost that is for your bankroll. Number 4 is huge, and that's that you can't be in a rush to move up, because if you're trying to get up the limits as quickly as possible, you're probably going to make some bad decisions. Looking at your bankroll, like, you're just not going to play within the restrictions that you should. And also, when you're in a rush to move up, if things go bad at your normal stake, a lot of those players are prone to move up stakes to try to get that money back. Being in a rush to move up also is consistent with someone who needs to finish the session even or better, and that's really a recipe for disaster. But I read in the email that you said you're in no rush. You're happy to build your bankroll at whatever speed it takes. So that is the right attitude, and anyone else who never wants to redeposit, that is the attitude you should have as well. Don't worry about when it's going to happen, your bankroll getting big, that is. Just know that if you are doing the right things, it will get there. And when it happens isn't so much a priority as just the fact that it at some point will happen. Fine. Number 5, building on that rush and up limits thing, you want to reinvest in yourself to increase your earning power and increase your edge and increase your poker skill, so that you can sustain being at the higher limits as you move up to them and have a better chance of moving up to the next ones faster. It's not just the size of your bankroll that determines how well you do in poker. A lot of it comes down to how much skill you have. So I would suggest these 3 investments in this order. Once you've won your first $100, invest in Hold'em Manager or Poker Tracker. It's great for keeping track of results. It will give you reads on your opponents. It gives you a lot of stuff to study. But I think for your initial build, whether you're playing sit and goes or micro stakes cash games, you can probably get away with not having Hold'em Manager or Poker Tracker, since you're probably going to be playing like 2-3 tables maximum, and you don't really need software when you're playing that few games. You should be making your own notes and not relying on poker software that, in the initial stages might be more confusing and harmful than it is helpful. So, show that you can beat the game without the need of software assistance. And then once you're going to start to get into a bit more competitive environment, then make the investment and add that software to supplement your game. Next, once you get to like mid stakes or small stakes, you probably will want to invest in a poker training membership. Books are great. Obviously, Grips Poker Training is great as well. If you want to watch, a more variety of content and more players playing and see how more people think, forums or training sites are a really good option because you can watch people doing what you want to do firsthand. Now, these sites probably cost about $30 a month, so you probably want to be making at least like $150 a month if you're going to be investing that much in your training. But I think this is a really good investment for like the mid stage of your development. And then once you get beyond what you feel the training sites can offer you, once you get to a really higher level and you need that one-on-one assistance, the only thing that can help you break through to being like a real top level player, that's when you invest in personal coaching. But trust me, that is a long way down the road. You're going to learn to beat the game on your own. Then you're going to get the assistance of software. And then you're going to see what everyone else is up to. But the same way you shouldn't be in a rush to move up limits, don't be in a rush to get all these things. A lot of players see that these softwares exist, so they're like, okay, well, if that's what other people are using, I need to get that stuff, and I need to use it right away so that I can be competitive. And just because you have the software doesn't mean you know how to use it, and it can throw you off. I've seen a lot of people make poor decisions because of software. I've made wrong decisions because I relied on my software rather than my own intuition. And that's why I say you should just learn how to win first before you start using these programs to supplement your ability to win. And finally, number 6, I think I've talked about this throughout the video, but just stay patient. If you are someone who's antsy or eager or needs to see things happen right away, what's probably going to happen right away is you're going to blast through your deposit and have to make a new one. So if you don't want to be that person and you want to run up your first deposit into your like lifetime bankroll for poker and make it into something huge and be one of those success stories, the number one key is going to be patience. And if you're a full ring player, that's going to work because in full ring you have to fold like 85-90% of your hands anyway. So it will be a good skill to carry over from the table to your attitude towards your bankroll. And that is my 6 cents on how to make sure that you never have to redeposit. As I said, it's easier said than done, but if you follow the techniques that I mentioned in this video and really you're just patient and work hard and stay patient and work hard and just be consistent with that, you can make it happen. You may not get to $1 million as quickly as you wanted to, but you can get there eventually if you just follow that process and do it again for each limit you move up to. Wait, establish yourself the limit, be patient, get to know the players, figure them out, start abusing them, start crushing them, then move up, and on and on and on and on and on. But find any value you can. Be smart with your bankroll. Reinvest in yourself, but don't invest too much all at once because, if you get the poker training site membership too soon, you might be wasting your money. If you invest $200 in coaching when you're playing 2NL, it's not really worth it. So you know what you have to do. Just know that you don't need to do it all at once. And if you really understand it, you will know when is the right thing to do each thing. So if anyone has any thoughts to add to this on, maybe you're one of those people who built the roll up off nothing and built it off a free roll or built a first deposit, let us know. Tell us your success story. Or maybe you're someone who it took a few tries like it did for me before you really got it. And please feel free to share the mistakes or pitfalls that you ran into along the way before you finally broke through and got that success. So yeah, please leave your comments below, whatever you have to say. Helpful, hilarious, I'm down for whatever. And for the project, if you have any questions, of course, please send them to evan@grips.com with the subject line, Get Me Stackin. Hopefully I can answer your question and help you get stacking. And finally, if you're finding these videos helpful, you enjoy them, you want to see more, please subscribe below to my channel and you will be notified immediately whenever a new video gets posted up. And that's going to about do it. I hope you guys who watch this video never have to make that second deposit and can tell me that these tips helped you get that done. I hope you found the video insightful and informative. This has been Evan for grips.com. Saying peace.